Introducing a completely redesigned experience that you can sense. And that senses you. The new Dell Latitude laptops bring your work closer to you.
Across central Victoria, this is Win News.
Tonight, roads reopen around Longwood as crews continue work on the ground. Farmers demand a pause on energy consultation juggling bushfire recovery and bureaucracy, and new tobacco laws, what they mean for Bendigo locals and businesses. Good evening, I'm Bruce Roberts. Also tonight, weather interrupted, how the heat, rain and cold has been playing havoc with our local teams. Key roads have finally reopened in the Longwood Fire region after a strong community call to get tourists back into the area. It comes as crews continue to tackle several large bushfires across our state.
After a vocal fight by residents, these roads have finally reopened.
It's a great outcome for the community here, and it's a great opportunity for tourists to start coming up and spending time in the countryside again.
This morning, roadblocks were taken down for the Goulburn Valley and Maroondah highways and Euroa Mansfield Road.
It's back to school for a lot of families right across Australia. So I think it is a bit too late, and it's disappointing that the roads weren't open earlier.
We want to relieve suffering where we can on community. We want to allow community back in to those affected areas, so it's absolutely a priority for us to work as quickly, as safely and as diligently as we can.
Local businesses feeling the impact in what was meant to be their busiest month. James Carlin owns 4 hospitality venues in the Longwood Fire region and says the hit will be felt for a long time.
We're down 60% of revenue for the month of January. You've got staff there, you've got everything turned on, you've got stock, you've got prep, but there's no customers. No one's there because they haven't been allowed to go past the A, so they just don't even bother coming to the town.
There's several fires still burning across the state.
So the fire in Walwa, the Upper Murray, continues to burn. We have a bushfire continuing to burn near Dargo, the Wonnagatta complex, and of course the fires in the Otway complex as well. The good news is none of those fires are emergency warning level. Those warnings have been downgraded.
In the Otways, fires still burn as staff work to clear roads and make it safe for residents to return home. Authorities warning the community to stay aware, with the fire season being far from over.
We are only at the end of January and we have much more of summer to come across Victoria in February, so it is very much a marathon and not a sprint.
This summer is far from over. We have many, many weeks of summer ahead of us.
Ruby Silverback, Win News.
Residents in Castlemaine, Harcourt and other surrounding towns are being urged to lodge insurance claims as they begin picking up the pieces from the recent bushfires. Insured losses from fires since January 7 are estimated at more than $200 million, with around 30% of property claims expected to be total losses. The Insurance Council of Australia says insurers are on the ground helping residents and will expand support once it's safe. Authorities advise documenting all damage and speaking to your insurer before starting any repairs. There are growing calls tonight for the state government to pause consultation on renewable energy projects until after the fire season. Many residents are still battling bushfires, and so they don't have sufficient time to complete the lengthy submissions by the deadline.
If they're not out battling bushfires, our farmers are harvesting crops. One thing they say they don't have time for is more paperwork.
Rural Council Victoria is asking for the state government to put a pause on all renewable energy and mineral consultation during the fire danger period.
Yarriambiack Shire has been hit with 6 fires this month, and residents are prioritising protecting the land and assets. There's around 4 energy projects in the Shire that are currently taking community submissions, which regional residents are saying they don't have time to do.
Middle of harvest, middle of fire season, it's just haven't got the time or the extra time that's needed to actually commit to these inquiries.
It's also a similar situation in Corangamite.
We're actively fighting 3 fires at the moment, so we're still recovering, our staff are recovering and supporting our communities that way.
The RCB says it doesn't matter what stance you have on the projects. The submission period needs to be fair and deadlines need to be suspended until after the fire danger period for the whole state.
That is not fair on our communities then have to turn around and try and put in a substantial application into these renewable and mining applications to their permits.
The state government says VicGrid has already postponed community engagement sessions that have been scheduled in fire-affected communities.
Recognising that those communities have faced or are facing significant fire threat and risk, and for some, they are in a recovery process.
Lena Zuccarelli, WIN News.
Police are continuing at a command post at Venus Bay's No. 4 beach as they continue to search for missing boy Danny. Water police and 2 jet skis are working in the water with the support of local members patrolling the shore. The 12-year-old from Taylor's Hill went missing on Sunday and was last seen in the water. Due to the length of time Danny's been missing, police are now working to recover his body. Small businesses fear the state's new illegal tobacco regulator will take to the streets under-resourced and underpowered. It's aiming to put a stop to tobacco wars and warns large fines and potential jail time is on the table.
Caught in the middle of the Victorian tobacco wars, Longwarry supermarket staff are still on edge after being ram-raided last year.
They targeted our tills, so they were obviously trying to disrupt our business.
Despite not selling illegal cigarettes, the family-owned business received this handwritten note from the Commission, a crime syndicate with links to a wave of fire bombings.
While we were waiting for the retaliation, that was a very stressful time.
A convenience store a few doors down is still closed after being allegedly firebombed on New Year's Eve. The new regulator, Tobacco Licensing Victoria, begins operating next week. Individuals caught selling illegal tobacco will face huge fines and up to 15 years in jail. But armed with just 14 inspectors, there are concerns it's under-resourced.
There is potentially a very large number of retailers out there who will continue to sell tobacco without a licence, and we only have 14 inspectors on the ground.
It's just simply not enough.
Australia is among the world's most expensive places to buy cigarettes, with a single pack costing around $40. For comparison, it's about $11 in the US.
What we're seeing also in other states is the ability of licensed inspectors to shut down shops who are found to be trading in illicit tobacco.
The state government says its reforms will help break the business model of organised crime, and inspectors' work will be complemented by police. Jack Morgan, WIN News.
ADHD medication is expected to be in short supply until the end of the year. The TGA's admission has left families scrambling to find supplies just as schools start to return.
The school gates open back up next week, but some students may be re-entering the classroom without their essential ADHD medication.
And if kids have had some time off medication in the school holidays, then are looking to fill their scripts now going back to school. And if they go to fill them and are then unable to, it's a real issue.
Pharmacists are having to break the tough news to patients daily.
We're basically trying to get whatever supply we can, even if it's limited number of units from suppliers, just to get by the people that are on the medication currently.
It's all linked to a shortage in a key ingredient in ADHD medications called methylphenidate. According to the TGA, users of certain Ritalin doses could have a normal supply by the end of March, while those relying on Concerta will be waiting till December.
So the key thing is start planning now. Have a look at what medication you have a look at what medication you need for the coming weeks and months, and to make a plan.
So basically, there's people that would like to initiate treatment but can't initiate treatment because we haven't got enough for the people that are currently requiring the medication.
The government approved the use of overseas suppliers, but that was only a temporary solution.
It did relieve some of the pressure. Unfortunately, though, now we're seeing those medications are now in short supply as well, so we can't actually access those medications.
The advice: to speak to your prescribing GP or specialist to formulate a possible alternate dosage plan.
And that might be either taking 2 tablets of a lower dose, or that might be changing over to a different medication.
The TGA was contacted for comment. Sophie Watson, WIN News.
Coming up next on Win News, Central Victoria preserving the voices of our past, the heartwarming project capturing memories before they're lost. And from shorter winters to longer summers, how the weather is reshaping sport in regional areas. Lifeline has been there for countless Aussies at their lowest points, with dedicated volunteers supporting people in crisis when it matters most. Now the national icon is calling on us to put up our hands and help out.
Walking inside the Lifeline store, Ray and Gail are familiar faces known by all. They're the pair with a combined experience of more than 30 years, and back in the engine room, they keep the fires burning.
Oh, this is beautiful material that was donated last week. It's been packed up into 1 metre lots, and all I do is just price it $2.
The retired pharmacy worker rolled up her sleeves more than 2 decades ago.
I retired for 1 week, and I thought, oh, what am I going to do? So I joined Lifeline.
Now the craft station is Ray's domain.
The guy would put on that, because I really know pricing, I can put that at $4.
Across the way, trolley loads of donations are delivered to Gail, meticulously sorting through each piece of clothing.
Sometimes it can take, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. I'm here 2 days, and the people I see over those 2 days is just really nice. I love coming.
The duo, one of thousands across the country, giving up their time for a greater cause, whether it be for a few days or just a few hours.
Who is willing to come in with a positive attitude to take on board the training is welcome. There's no prerequisites other than that.
For more than 6 decades, Lifeline has been ensuring no one has to face their toughest moments alone, made possible through the work of tireless volunteers.
Whether that's being on the other end of a phone, whether that's working in our community kitchen, or whether that's working in one of our retail shops, it's a great opportunity to give back and be part of a community.
And the message Ray and Gail want to make clear.
Just try it. See if you like it. I'm sure you will once you try it.
Head to the Win News Facebook page for how you can become a volunteer. Help is always available. Meg Claridge, Win News.
A new living history project is preserving the memories of older regional Victorians, capturing their lives in their own words. The newest volume adds to the growing collection, sharing personal stories that reflect a century of change across the region.
In kitchen, care homes and country towns across the Mallee, conversations that might once have stayed within families are being turned into permanent records.
The chance to share a story is so uplifting.
The newest volume of the Mallie's Living Histories project brings together more personal stories drawn from interviews with older residents.
It couldn't have gone on without people who put their hand up and said, yeah, I got a story, I wouldn't mind sharing that. Or most equally importantly, the people who said, yeah, look, I'll commit to going and visiting and writing the stories.
The project pairs storytellers with writers, transforming spoken memories into written accounts supported by photographs that anchor those recollections.
And it's a wonderful library of stories, it really is the history of our district, all wrapped up in a few books.
Truda said to me once, probably more towards the end, that she was so rapt that she'd had a chance to sit and, I suppose, purposely reflect on her life.
Organisers say the aim isn't purely about nostalgia, but recognition at a time when many older Australians feel overlooked.
The books are important, the stories are important, but I've always contended it's the visits that are really the important thing.
Natalie McGarry, Win News.
Heat protocols have kicked into action for dozens of sporting leagues across our state. Games have been cancelled and some for a second week running in an effort to protect players from extreme temperatures.
It may be the peak of the summer sports season, but Victoria's extreme heatwave has forced some local clubs to call a timeout, saying it's too hot to play. Cricket Albury-Wodonga's junior comp's been cancelled this weekend, with temperatures slated to reach more than 40 degrees.
All juniors were called off yesterday because our policy stipulates anything over 38 they can't play.
East Albury Tennis Club has been taking extra measures to ensure player safety.
We've actually made sure that we started any day like coaching or our social Wednesday morning a lot
lot earlier.
Monitoring how every kid is and just sort of trying to coach according to how they're feeling.
We have more breaks when the junior coaching's on.
While summer sports like cricket and tennis are traditionally played under the sun, organisers say this time it's just too hot.
It's unprecedented. We haven't had 7 days in a row of 40 plus degrees heat for 10 or 15 years.
Playing on synthetic courts, you tend to find the player comfort if it's 45 degrees, probably be 50 degrees on the courts because of the reflection of the heat.
While safety is paramount, clubs say unpredictable weather and varying temperatures across the region can create a logistical nightmare.
Some parents have complained that they're not playing on a Saturday morning, so I do think it's a bit cooler, but we made the unilateral decision because we travel from Mount Beauty to Lockhart and Kyra to Estale. That's best for everybody in the middle.
Experts say it might be time to rethink how games are played, with rain and cold in winter also taking its toll.
What are the impacts on playing surfaces, for example? Turf, grass, sports fields, are they becoming dry, hard, compacted? Just thinking about how does climate factor into decisions we make about how we do sport?
Ella Power-Bridger, Win News.
Time for sport with Jared Constable and Jay. So the Opal squad has quite the regional flavour to it.
Yeah, that's right, Bruce. There are a few familiar faces which have been named in the team. We'll have more on that next. Also, Country Victoria well represented at the Basketball Nationals.
Intuitive, capable, and above all, intelligent. The Ford Escape is fearlessly designed and makes every day effortless.
Regional Victoria will be well represented on the international basketball stage with Horsham's Chloe Bibby and Bendigo Spirit's Isabel Borlase selected in the Australian Opal squad. The pair is among 12 players chosen for World Cup qualifying tournament in Turkey next month. The team will travel to Istanbul in March to face strong competition including Canada and Japan as part of preparations for this year's FIBA Women's World Cup in Germany. The senior women's sides will step onto the pitch tomorrow in round 12 of the T20. First and fourth on the ladder will go head-to-head when Mildura Settlers meet Merbein. Nichols Point Gold will be looking for crucial points in a bid to hold on to third spot when they play Mildura East. Irimple will be looking for their second win of the season, coming up against Kumiala Wentworth. Old Aerodrome Sports Complex is set to host Mildura West and Nichols Point Green. Golgol has the bye. 29 teams from across Australia are in action in Ballarat this week for the Iberberge competition, running alongside Basketball Australia's Under-20 Nationals. The tournament didn't start well for the reigning Victorian champs, succumbing to the ACT in an incredible 25-point comeback.
It was an all-team effort and our New Zealand family was also there supporting us. Our under-20s were here supporting us and some of us did get fouled out yesterday, but we brought the energy on the bench yesterday and I think that's what brought us through. 6
teams are fighting it out in the women's competition, which caters for athletes with an intellectual impairment. The tournament about more than just results.
Win or lose, it doesn't really matter to us. We're so excited to be here and at the end we like to dance and get all the teams involved.
Action wraps up Sunday. Country footy star Lockie Ash is chomping at the bit to play his maiden Origin game, selected after making his first All-Australian team.
Obviously massive honour. I was a bit surprised, to be honest. I thought there might have been a few boys ahead of me. So it was a bit of a shock, which was a pleasant surprise, I guess. But really excited to get over there and represent Victoria, but to also learn off. There's some of the best players in the competition.
He says Darley's Aaron Cadman's taken his game to another level.
Cad's presence out on the track has been great. It looks like he's taken a couple of steps forward, which is very exciting for us and just footballers in general. He's going to be a force this year, which is great for us.
The Giants will play match sim against Collingwood in Melbourne and then the Bloods in Sydney ahead of the opening round.
It'll come around really quickly, so we'll have a few training sessions before those games, but really looking forward to getting back into it. I know our guys are getting towards that point where they're sick of training against each other.
And as a wager for Origin?
Great spectacle, obviously. So, I think the Vics will come out on top. Our team looks pretty strong, but you never know. Rock up and see how we go on the day.
Western Australia will take on Victoria on Valentine's Day at Optus Stadium in just 15 sleeps. That is our night in sport.
Great stuff, JC. Thank you very much for that. Severe to extreme heatwave conditions will persist over the coming days. Bo Jeong will have your Friday weather next.
There's a heap to love here at Strathvillage. There's the new IGA with big brands and big wide aisles, not to mention a heap of fashion stores, great cafes and plenty of free parking. Meet me at the Village, Strathvillage.
Welcome back. Another warm day in the region with not much relief from the heat around the corner. A severe heatwave warning is in place for the northern country until at least Saturday, with hopefully a cool reprieve on the way on Sunday. Our Thursday weather pick comes from Trish, who captured the grey clouds over Bridgewater. Thank you so much for that awesome shot. Now, if you have a weather photo and you'd like to see it on screen, send it through to us. Our inbox is always open. Now, let's look at the details from today. Plenty of sunshine in Kyneton, exceeding its forecast top today, reaching a top of 39 degrees. Warmer than average temperatures with light winds pushing about in Bendigo. A 42-kilometre wind gust arrived at Hopetoun early afternoon, with winds making things feel cooler than suggested. Meanwhile, temps hit the 30s in Balranald around 11 this morning, reaching a top of 41 degrees today. On the charts, a low-pressure trough lying over the northeast alongside a high-pressure ridge will persist to the state south as we go to air. And looking ahead, a new trough will move across Victoria on Saturday ahead of a high pressure system extending a ridge into western parts of the state. To the forecast for central Victoria, plenty of sunshine on the way tomorrow, an overnight low of 18 in Kyneton, heading to a top of 37 degrees. We're expecting warmer conditions in Echuca, Kerrang, all in the 40s, hitting the mid-40s in Swan Hill and Balranald. For Bendigo tomorrow, plenty of sunshine on the way with a slim chance of showers tomorrow, heading to a top of 41. And in Melbourne, we're expecting partly cloudy conditions. Looking at the days ahead for our region, Saturday said to be a scorcher with temps cooling down on Sunday and Monday's looking sunny. That's all for weather tonight. Bruce, back to you.